Have you stopped getting faster? In this video, I want to help you break through a performance plateau and make sure that you're always improving, getting better, and reaching your goals. You know, in my own running career, there have been so many times where I've hit a performance plateau. I just stopped getting better. And in my coaching practice, since 2010, I've worked with thousands of athletes, and I've helped a lot of other runners get past their own roadblocks that are in the way of their performances improving as well. So let's talk about some of the biggest reasons why runners hit these performance plateaus and how you can break through them. First, I do want to be clear that you are going to hit a performance plateau at some point in your running career, and it's actually very normal. So this isn't like some massive problem that we have to immediately diagnose. Let's also recognize too that not only is this normal, but it's part of the process. You are going to have periods of time where you don't really improve too much, where your performances may not just stagnate, but they may actually regress a little bit and get a little bit slower. Now, as long as you are training really well, and we're going to get into that, you have no fear of permanently stagnating and permanently never moving forward again with your times. So let's get into this and talk about some of the reasons why I see runners stagnate and hit these performance plateaus with their training. By and large, the number one reason that runners stagnate with their performances is because their training is stagnating as well. Now, of course, if you want to do something that you've never done before in a race, you have to do something you've never done before in your training first. And so reaching all these new levels of performance, running faster than you ever have been over any distance, whether it's the mile or the 100-mile ultramarathon distance, it requires a level up in your training. It requires doing something that you haven't done before, doing more, doing it more frequently, doing it more consistently, or doing it faster than you ever have, so that you will not only race faster, but ultimately what we're doing is we need a new training stimulus. We need something different that spurs those additional training adaptations so that you keep getting faster. So if you're that runner who's always running 25 to 35 miles a week, or maybe you're that runner who only ever does a double-digit long run when you're training for a marathon, now's the time to think about your training and ask yourself how you can take things to the next level. So if you're someone who takes a lengthy off season where maybe you only run a third of the mileage that you're used to for months on end, that's not helping your overall development as a distance runner. You know, I'll never forget something that my college cross country coach told us. He said, running is not a sport that you do 3, 6, or even 9 months out of the year. Running is a lifestyle. And in fact, if you don't do indoor and outdoor track, you're not allowed to do cross country because you're not treating it as a lifestyle. Now, I'll never forget that. It was a little bit of a hard ass type of position to take, but it was very instructive, and it teaches us that to consistently improve as a runner, we also have to consistently train and follow those fundamentals that we know are so important to our overall development.
You know, I'm not that big into supplements, but I do love AG1 by Athletic Greens. I consider it my nutrition insurance, helping me cover all my bases so I know I'm not missing out on anything my body needs, especially when I'm training really hard. I try to eat really well, but of course, AG1 is that extra security that gives me peace of mind over my diet. 1 scoop per day, and I'm getting 75 vitamins and minerals, prebiotics, probiotics, antioxidants, and adaptogens. You can try it out too at athleticgreens.com/Jason, and they're going to throw in a free year's worth supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. Check it out at athleticgreens.com/Jason.
Now, the cousin to this problem, the cousin to always doing similar levels of training all the time, is always training for the same race consistently year after year. And I experience this a lot with my marathoners. The marathoners who are in love with the 26.2 mile distance, they desperately want to reach a certain time barrier, sub 4, sub 3, maybe qualify for Boston. And in their haste of accomplishing this goal, They run 2 or 3 marathons year after year after year, and they rarely take a season off to train for any other type of race. And the problem with this is that you're always doing marathon training. And while marathon training is wonderful, it ignores many other aspects of training that are important to endurance runners, like strength, speed, and power. So if we are always doing marathon training, we're ignoring so many other valuable aspects of training that I think is leaving a lot of fitness on the table. So if you are a marathoner, you love the marathon, I get it, it's a magical race. Let's be intentional about our training and make sure that we're taking a season, probably once a year, where we're focusing on shorter races. Focus on the 5K, the 8K, the 10K. Let's focus on getting fast. Let's improve our speed, our power, our ability to kick and sprint. And if we can do that, we are then going to be able to take that speed, layer on some endurance, do some long runs, get some volume underneath us, and we are going to be able to attack the marathon with much more ability and ultimately have a much faster marathon time. So runners, I don't want your times to stagnate. I want you to bust through whatever performance plateau you're experiencing. Let's make sure that we are leveling up with our training. After all, we need progression. That's where fitness comes from. New levels of physical ability come from progressive overload. Let's keep pushing the envelope ever so gradually, month after month. Let's also make sure that we are training for a variety of races so that we can do a variety of workouts and a variety of training styles that will help us get into better and better shape. Don't miss strengthrunning.com/coaching for even more ideas on how you can focus on these fundamentals, get more variety into your training plan, and become a faster runner.